We're back aboard Freya. I'm going to show you the black hole that Chris has created. We're going to put some barrier coat on the through hull that is underneath the galley sink. And then we're going to start laying up some glass to fill in that lovely hole that we have in the bottom of our boat now.
Our experiment has gone wrong. Our black hole is now at the bottom of our boat. Dun, dun, dun. And this is the face that happens when you do a stupid joke. So this is one of the through hulls that we've been working on. We had to drill this one out. This is the galley kitchen sink drain. We fiberglassed it up, then we drilled it out, and then we had to fair it, and then we put on a first coat of barrier coat. So today what we're doing, we have to rough up this barrier coat so that the second layer of barrier coat will fit, and then that should be all set.
This makes a great workbench.
So honey, what are you doing?
I'm cleaning off the amine blush from the previous coat. Then we're going to put another coat on there. Then it'll be almost ready for the anti-fouling paint.
Alright, so we are mixing up the barrier coat for the one through hull I showed you earlier. And here's how we do it.
So we're using West Systems with the 422. It says that you have to have 15 to 20% of your mix to be the 422. And in order to get that for 2 pumps, which is what we're using here, it's about a half of a tablespoon. So we're just going to use this measuring spoon and mix it up.
You want it to be runny so it is self-leveling, which provides a smooth surface when hardened. This is what it looks like when it's fully mixed up.
We're just patching a spot instead of redoing the entire bottom. We kind of are just trying to protect this spot because the rest of it, over the years when I sanded this down, you can see old barrier coat in there, and we're just trying to match it so that it's protected the same amount. We're going to put this on pretty thin, and I'm just kind of slopping it on here, and then I'm going to tip it with the end of the foam brush to give it a level surface.
So this is what a through hull looks like before it's been drilled out. Now, this is a through hull. Once it's been prepped, we had to bevel it until it's really thin here. We laid up a piece of glass on the inside. We're going to sand that down so the first piece of glass that we lay up is even with this. Then we're going to slowly layer the glass until this big, huge gaping hole is filled flush with the boat. Then we will put fairing compound, barrier coat, and then the copper coat on top of it. So that should be fun. Gotta be careful, don't go into the black hole! So I showed you the outside of the through hull we are filling. This is the inside. This is that piece of glass that I showed you that we laid up. So that is what the glass on the outside is going to stick to, because if this wasn't here, there'd be an air pocket on the inside. That glass on the outside has nothing to grip onto. So by doing this, we have something to push up against in order to get it to seal properly.
Hi, Veggie.
Hi! What's up?
Just waiting.
Got some 404. I am making a little bit of thickened epoxy to help seal the hole up there before we put the fiberglass in.
So we had these little ridges that if I had kept sanding in there, we would have gone through the backing plate that we put in it on the inside. So we're just doing some thickened epoxy to get around those corners, and then we're going to lay up glass over the top of this.
So we have all of our fiberglass pieces. Now that's not all the fiberglass we're going to need. This will get us started because you don't want to lay up too much glass all at once.
I'm brushing on some epoxy to help wet out the surface before laying up the glass. This should provide a better surface contact with the old and the new glass to prevent voids.
We wet out each piece fully. This helps prevent voids when cured. Then we use a roller to get rid of air bubbles and remove excess epoxy.
We do this for each piece of fiberglass from smallest to largest. After you're done with this, we roll a piece of peel ply over the surface. This helps eliminate sanding between layers. It also helps us roll out more of the air bubbles without moving wet layers of fiberglass around. It's not perfect, but it's a huge time saver. Plus, it's really fun to pull off later.
Man, that's satisfying.
So I'm not sure how well it's going to turn up on the camera, but the second barrier coat is looking pretty good. Now I just need to sand down the high spots and then we'll be done.
Chris is sanding the second layer of barrier coat we put on yesterday for the galley sink through hull. This is the last step before the through hull goes on, and finally, the anti-fouling paint.
So we've done a lot of work this weekend. We put some fiberglass up in that black hole. We covered it with peel ply. We got 2 layers of barrier coat done. It's already sanded and ready to go for the fairing compound whenever we get to that. And then next weekend we're going to start back on the through hulls and getting them all ready to be installed, hopefully.
Thanks for watching Life in the Wind. If you like this video and want future updates, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and maybe leave a comment down below. See you soon.